What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 3 of Screen Time. Today I'm joined by, once again, Indiana's pride and joy, Michael Vincent.
Hello.
Chicago's pride and joy.
We've got your child's favorite future dentist, Luke Robert. Everybody's brother from another mother, Spenser Lyon.
Oh, different. Hello.
And back
Hey,
this week,
brother.
we've got the one-man show, Dillon Rock Band Evans.
How's it going, everyone?
So, this week, as you can tell by the title, we're doing the last Airbender, ladies and gentlemen. So strap in. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, full of not many laughs and probably a few tears, but not because the movie's sad, but because it's bad.
I mean, it's sad in its own way. It's sad.
It's just
because it is
like,
bad.
before we
I
get
cried
into
tears
all
of
of it-
joy when I saw the credits.
Before we get into all of it, it's like, just imagine how good this movie could have been. Like, if someone that actually cared about it, like, would have made it, you know?
Like Michael Bay.
Yeah.
I think the movie would actually.
The effects would have at least been better.
The scenery was pretty nice.
Also, I thought we were going to be talking about Dirty Dancing.
No
Havana
positives here.
Nights, so I have
No
nothing
positives.
to contribute.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna defend the movie. I'm gonna play the defender of the
You're-
movie.
Really?
No,
Well, I'll be
fuck
honest
that.
with you.
I was going to say that's going to be a hard job.
It's
I'll be honest with
impossible.
you. I was saving it for the podcast. I didn't think it was as bad as everyone says. So
Have you watched the
I
show,
figured I'd get-
Spencer?
Spencer,
Yeah.
I'm excited
I'm not.
for you to talk
I'm not
about this.
saying-
Then
I'm not saying it's anywhere near the show's quality, but like I expected
So
like.
I'm glad you clarified that it's nowhere
Yeah.
near the show's quality.
yeah, it's better.
Otherwise, I would've
It's
thought it was.
miles
hot
above.
take.
Miles. So, some stuff about the movie. The release date, June 30th, 2010. Almost 10 years to the day that we're recording this.
Still waiting on the sequel.
Tomorrow.
Runtime, an hour and 43 minutes. And I will go ahead and tell you, the longest hour and 43 minutes I think I've ever sat through. Like, there were multiple times in this movie where I was like I would pause it just to see like how much time was left. And I was like, oh, I've been watching for a few minutes. Or I've been watching like, for like, it's got to be at least like 20 minutes. And it was like literally like 5 minutes. Like, it was like,
It's funny because Cam and I had the exact opposite experience. Like it was over so fast for me. I
I'm
don't know why.
so jealous.
I'm
of
jealous
you.
of you,
It
Luke.
went by so quick.
It was
I
the
like, I was like,
longest.
how has it been 2 hours?
so
Like, I feel
long.
like I feel like we just started it, and it
And,
was
like-
just already like at the Water Tribe, and I was like, wait, is this just the first book, or is it three? Is it the first 3 books?
Well, that's the thing is like, it
And-
says book 1 at the beginning. So like, they were
Yeah.
obviously planning on doing the whole like 3
Yeah,
seasons.
All 3 books, yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting those sequels, baby.
What if they
It's-
made a
it's crazy-
sequel? What if it just came out?
It's crazy how rushed it felt, but how quickly it was, or no, how rushed it felt, but how slow everything
Yeah,
was.
the
at
pacing
same
was
time.
so bad, but like it was the
was
slowest
horrendous.
movie of all time.
Yet they made it through
Yeah.
a full season.
We should do the whole podcast in the film
Oh,
style
face.
of the movie. Hello, Ung.
I have a question.
Written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
He was in it. He was one of the guards.
Yeah, he was. I think he's in like all the movies he makes. I think he has like a
he's
small
yeah.
part.
hero in him.
Produced by M. Night Shyamalan, Sam Mercer, and Frank Marshall. And I looked up Sam Mercer and Frank Marshall, and they've like both also like they've produced a lot of things. Frank Marshall's produced like a ton of stuff. Like he's
In the spirit of the movie, we should only refer to him as M. Night Shyamalan and mispronounce his name,
M.
even though we have
M.
years.
No, M.
years to
Neat.
years.
M. Neat
M. Night
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
Budget was $150 million. Box office, $319.7 million. So it
They made a
made
profit.
Yeah, it made
they
double.
accomplished their job. They didn't care about making a good movie. They cared about making money and capitalizing before somebody else.
so
Just made more of a profit than fucking Dirty Dancing Havana Nights. I'm gonna keep bringing that up. I just want y'all to know.
I
that.
don't know what you're
I don't
talking
know what that
about.
movie is.
Yeah, you're the only one. It's the second Dirty Dancing movie.
I didn't know that
They made a
existed.
second.
I've never watched Dirty Dancing. No one did. It only made a profit of $2 million.
Well, it's better than a loss.
True.
Touche.
So, you guys ready to jump into this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's get
No.
into it.
Without further ado, The Last Airbender in its entirety, word by word. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, I thought, and here's what I wrote in my notes. I put live action bending showcase, actually pretty tight. Probably the last time I'll compliment this movie. Like the
Wait.
beginning when it does like the earth, fire, water, like that part, it looked
oh,
cool.
yeah.
Like just the
Yeah, that was-
shadow,
that
like
was-
it
that
looked
was
cool.
decent. Yeah,
But
it was.
yeah.
But
it-
it still just like the way it was filmed. It still just seemed like they were. It like it looked like it had like the soap opera effect, where like it looked like they were moving too fast, kind of thing. Like the
Mhm.
frame rate was off, and it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
did
weird
not
that
make-
like every time they did bending in this movie, it's slow. It's like they did slow mo for every single bending shot. Like every single
Yeah.
shot was slow mo.
Everyone's moving super fast. All of their actual elements are moving half speed that they're going
Yeah.
easily. And it's
Yeah,
just,
all the
at some
all of the
point-
rocks were moving so slow through the air.
Yeah.
Like
At some point, it just became like a dance routine, and there just happened to be things flying around.
which like it looked cool. Like them doing like the moves and stuff looked cool, but then like
Still
it's just like it was like all this stuff for like a tiny little wave or something. Like I mean, I get it from like a cultural like kung fu standpoint. Like it looked cool, but it just I don't know. I think the show did a better job at like having roots in
Everything.
like the different like kung fu styles and stuff.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
So, immediately I complimented the movie, and then we immediately, like, maybe 2 seconds later, we get the voiceover of Katara saying, 100 years ago, the nations lived in harmony, and then she said, the Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, the Avatar, as if Avatar isn't
Yeah.
a word that exists in the English language. They just made it up
Avatar
for this
on.
movie.
Also, didn't they change up what she said at the beginning?
I was about
It's
to
different.
Say, like,
She never says
yeah.
until the Fire Nation attacked. Like, she doesn't say that.
No, she didn't.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, like they don't like need to quote it verbatim, but at the same time, like
they
why
could
not,
have. They could
Like,
have.
why
not?
Like,
Like
so then we,
that's
yeah.
Andy, just do it.
We get the
I
book
don't know.
1 water, implying there'll be at least another sequel. Who knows?
Here's hoping, baby.
And then so this part, Katara's making a little water. Or we don't know their names yet, but Katara
Oh,
is
yeah.
making a water orb, and then she drops
Did
it
they
on
ever
Sokka.
say Katara's name? Because I never.
Yeah, she says her
like,
name. She
Right.
she introduces herself to Aang at some point.
Yeah, I must have
Yeah.
just missed it. 'cause I kept
She's
trying
the
to
only
listen
name
and
they
see
pronounce
how they
right.
said it. Right,
Her and
I
Zuko,
must
I
have just
think.
missed it every time they said it. 'cause I was like,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I do know-
Normal said or pronounced, so you don't realize that every other
Yeah.
name's jarring because they're mispronouncing it every time.
Yeah.
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 I did notice, like, I had the subtitles on because I forgot to turn them off. But they have Katara's name in the subtitles before they introduce her name. I'm pretty sure. Like, it just says Katara, which if you're watching this movie, you've probably watched the show before, so you know who these people are.
Yeah.
But Katara and Sokka. Holy shit.
So
They've got you.
They're both whitewashed. Very cool.
his
Not
hair's
just
too
them.
long.
So yeah, he's got some weird.
Although,
He's
mhm.
got
It-
some
it's
dank.
funny because like we notice it's the grandma, grand, Soka, and Katubi or whatever are very white, and then everybody else in the Southern
They're
Water
like
Tribe is
actual
actual Inuits.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, we get an absolutely embarrassing green screen of Sokka and Katara walking. It's so bad. The lighting on them and the lighting behind them are just two different light sources, and it's
Pretty
just
bad.
very blatant green screen. There's glowing under the ice, and Sokka starts to break it, and it starts to cave in, and they're running from the cracks, and the CG there is also very bad because there's parts where they're trying to dodge the ice, and their feet aren't anywhere near cracks.
Yeah.
Like
They're just
No.
they literally just walked out there and just did this, and then
Yeah.
they went in
Mhm.
and just edited in some stock footage of
Every
ice.
every single scene in this movie was a one take scene. They went
Yeah.
out there. They said,
Exactly.
"All right, we got it."
yeah.
That was
That's a
it.
break, baby. That's a wrap.
Yeah, they filmed this in a day. This whole movie was filmed in one day.
Just
on a
believe
soundstage.
that.
What?
I would
So that's-
believe that it was filmed
Oh,
in a day.
yeah.
Yeah,
At least 2 days.
Maybe.
maybe.
Then a giant ice orb pops up. Fire Nation sees the blinding light or whatever.
Yeah.
Then there's a big old black-faced flying bison and a boy laying in the crater. That's the like literally like in the show, like he just has like a bison's face, but in the movie they're like, let's give him a human face. Let's just fuck around and give him a human face.
Yeah, and like he didn't have like the fluffy bangs that make him so cute.
Yeah,
he's
I know.
just a
He's
black
Did they
face.
also did
he's
he
Maddie.
did anyone ever say yip yip in the movie? I don't recall.
They did.
One point,
Is it when Aang flies off? Like future spoilers. Is it when Aang flies off to the northern air temple? I
Yes.
think it's then.
Yeah.
Right?
By himself.
Yeah, he does say yip yip. Because I remember hearing that. I was like, okay, they did that right.
And
There's
then,
something about that scene that pisses me off. I hope I can remember it.
oh yeah, well I'm sure we'll get there.
Fuck.
Yeah. So they take the boy to the village. Katara sees his dank ass tats. Fire Nation shows up. I'm just like, I'm probably skipping so much.
That's fine.
Katara
They skipped a lot,
says
too.
Sokka. You know, very cool. Very cool pronouncing the name wrong. Not the first time, not the last time. I put Fire Nation takes Aang. We don't know his name yet. Appa's face is nightmare fuel.
Zuko has a full head of hair.
Yeah, Zuko's
and
got
barely any scar.
Barely
Yeah.
even has a scar.
Zuko and Iroh. Their races
that
have been
fucking-
changed. His name's Iroh now.
disrespect.
It's not Iroh.
Disrespect.
I love the avatar test they give him. Because how does that work at all?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
he just
I don't
sits
get it
there.
because like does he just I mean I guess like the avatar just inherently has the ability to like move that stuff, but like Aang doesn't know how to earthbend, waterbend, or firebend
Yeah.
yet. But like he can make all that shit like
But clearly the elements just react differently around him for some
Yeah.
reason. Also, they skipped over the whole thing where they go into the booby trap Fire Nation ship and everything,
Yeah.
and they go
They skipped a
penguin
lot.
sliding, which I was really looking forward to.
yeah, he didn't
But-
ask he didn't say,
Maybe
"Do
the
you
next
want to go penguin sliding with me?" That wasn't his first lines, and I was kind of upset
Yeah.
about it. Grandma says that he might be the avatar because he's got them dank ass air tattoos. She tells Sokka and Katara to go help him. Aang passes the test, becomes a prisoner, and then he like bends his little ass out of there. And then he sees I thought it was cool that he like jumped over them and then like blasted backwards through the door and like locked it behind him. I thought that was kind of cool.
That was the one cool bending scene he had in this whole movie, in my opinion.
I-
You were kind of.
There
I
was
don't
another scene I thought was okay. We'll get to that though.
Yeah.
They skipped in that whole scene though. They skipped him going into Avatar state for like the split second that he goes into Avatar state.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
just-
because that's how.
Okay,
fast.
Go.
so before we continue on, I know that Rock Band and Luke have both watched the show recently. Michael, have you watched it again recently?
Yes,
Have you been rewatching it?
I have.
Spencer, have you watched it recently? The show?
Not
Okay,
recently,
I haven't
no.
either, but
What
I
are you
mean,
doing?
I
Watch
want to
the movie, baby.
I want to rewatch it, and the movie just made me like want to rewatch it even more because I was like, this is so
Yeah.
bad. I need to like cleanse this from my memory and watch the show. So I'm probably just
I
gonna
just
try to
finished
watch
my-
the show
I just finished my third watch through of it since it got on.
because
Netflix.
I haven't watched it since I finished it. Like the first time it was on Netflix. Like, so
Hey,
Aang
we're
gets
not
out.
bothering you, are we? I don't want to interrupt your movie watching experience.
No, I'm just I'm looking at you guys on Discord.
Oh, it looks from here. I thought you were like watching another movie right now.
He's gearing up for next
Yeah,
week.
he's
man.
watching the show. He's
Yeah.
watching the movie along with me while I'm narrating it.
Trying to cleanse the palate. Yeah.
So Aang sees Appa in the distance, and he like pulls out his little glider and flies away. He introduces himself as Ong.
Love it.
Aang So they go to the air temple, southern air temple. And Aang doesn't know that the monks are gone and the flying lemurs are extinct because like Momo's there, which like I forgot.
Yeah,
I
they
like-
never say Momo's name. They don't name
Yeah,
him.
I don't know if they ever name him at all.
The subtitles name him as Momo, but they
Yeah.
never name him.
Yeah, just
They
Also, it's weird. 'Cause, like the big circle of past avatars is supposed to be at that temple, and then it's not until like way later that it like shows up. Because
Yeah.
the very
It's in
first
the other
one,
temple.
that's when he like in the first few episodes he goes there with Katara and Sokka and checks it out and sees all the past ones and stuff, and that's when they realize that they're all gone and goes in Avatar state, which again doesn't happen at this point.
Well, he does go to Avatar state when he sees all the bones.
Oh,
He
that's
does.
right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he starts getting
When
and
he finds
goes into-
Gyatso's-
He does.
Our
but
nice young Gyatso.
Also,
A nice young,
the-
different race Gyatso.
Yeah, he wasn't whitewashed.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
He also wasn't 1,000 years old. He was like,
That's also true.
he could have been. You don't know.
Also,
Uh,
this air temple was just on someone's hike somewhere. It wasn't like in the show. It's up on a huge mountain that
Yeah,
only
it's
the
just
air
like-
nomads
It
can
wasn't
get to.
there.
This
wasn't
one's
the
on a
Earth Village-
casual hike.
Yeah, wasn't the Earth Village like down the road? It seemed like.
It was, and you'll figure that out momentarily.
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
Where was I?
Him finding the bones.
They find out that he was in the ice for 100 years. Firebenders killed all the airbenders. They were looking for the Avatar. I put Monkey Odzo as a different race. Aang is, you know, he's upset. He starts to go Super Saiyan or whatever, and he goes into the spirit world. And there's just this random dragon. You know, who's this dragon? I don't know. Avatar Roku, who? They said his
Where were
name
you,
one
Aang?
time.
yeah.
Also, fun fact: the dragon voiced by none other than John Noble.
Michael Fassbender.
Nope, you're
Oh.
wrong.
Sorry.
John Noble, who played Denethor in Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, aka Boromir's father.
Okay.
That's a fun fact.
Okay.
Crazy dude that eats the cherry tomatoes like
Yeah.
the psycho. Yeah.
Yeah.
That fucking dude.
So, fucking, if we cut to the Fire Nation, Zuko's getting watched by telescope, and it's fucking Daily Show correspondent, Admiral Zhao. What? I just like the whole time, every scene he was in, I couldn't like take him seriously because like he was in the Daily Show, like he was a Daily
Yeah.
Show correspondent, so I was just like, oh, he's about to tell us some news.
Yeah.
Zuko gets absolutely roasted by him, like just
Yeah.
no pun
Separately.
intended.
Did they ever do the Agni Kai together?
Yagni Key, you mean?
Key.
Oh,
I'm
I
getting,
don't really
I'm getting
remember
more
what that
upset.
is.
Getting heated. It's just like
It's,
how
when you have to, you're supposed to duel each other to the death.
how do
basically.
you how do you
Right.
just there's 3 seasons of source material and you just pronounce everything wrong. Like
I really think
Just
that they
didn't
do that
get
in Dragon Ball Evolution too. If they talk about Kai, Ki,
Mhm.
whatever.
I think I was talking. I think someone told me the guy that made it had to watch a single episode of Dragon Ball Z or anything before. he made it.
yeah, the dude that made the Dragon Ball Evolution had never watched Dragon Ball Z. Like I think years later he came out and like apologized because he was like, yeah,
What?
I'm garbage. But that's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
different
yeah.
movie. That's a different movie. That's a future
Yeah, no,
movie.
That's
We'll have to do a bunch of live action garbage anime adaptations because they're all bad. So Katara tells Aang that the Fire Nation controls a bunch of villages in the north, Earth villages. Some little like kid runs up to him and hides behind him because he's getting arrested.
this is after he went into the spirit world. Whenever he was in the Avatar state,
yeah.
saw the dragon, and also had like a past memory of Roku, underage Roku, and all this. Just
Did he? I don't remember that.
yeah, I just watched it.
Yeah, he had like a little bit of a vision, yeah, with the dragon.
Yeah, like all
talking to
that
him.
happened while he was in the Avatar state.
So yeah, then they like fly off on Appa, I think, and then they're camping or something, and she's like, oh, the Earth's Earth Nation, and then a little boy runs up and then hides behind
I don't
him.
think they even go off on Appa. I think a
No,
kid just runs up. At the
yeah,
temple.
they just
Oh,
yeah, they
while
just
they're there.
ran to him while they
Oh.
were still there. Like
I
Aang
wasn't
comes
paying
down.
attention.
Yeah, he calms down for a second, and then immediately this little boy just runs up, who's maybe 5 years old.
I
No,
thought-
he's
oh,
like
oh, is this
he's.
supposed to be tough? Thankfully, it wasn't. But
It's no,
Yeah.
that is not tough.
I thought it was. I thought he
No,
was a girl at
What's
first.
his name? Haro?
Yeah,
Haru.
like Haru.
Haru.
Oh, Haru
Haru.
from Naruto. Love that guy.
hey,
They got their source material confused.
Naruto.
Is there a live action
Naruto?
Naruto movie?
Probably.
One
Only-
moment.
Hopefully, M Night.
I need to see
Shyamalan
that.
will-
Probably not a live action American remake.
we should watch the
or-
live action Mortal Kombat. It's
There's
not
live
that
action JoJo, isn't there?
I like live
there
action Mortal
is.
Kombat.
Um,
bad.
so Katara tries to like put the moves on with her waterbending, but she accidentally covers Sokka in ice. They get captured. They go to this fucking little village. And
Now,
Aang
wait a
is
second.
like,
What about that line that the guard gave?
oh, I don't fucking remember.
When they
I
asked
don't-
what the little kid did, he said he was over there throwing rocks at the back of our heads. It
Not
really
really
hurt.
hurt.
Oh yeah, it really hurt.
Yeah.
That was unfunny. Not funny at
God.
all.
And
Like,
also this
there-
child.
There's
Oh
no.
Oh my god. Oh, I just realized like what it feels like. The way it's filmed and the way everybody moves and interacts, it feels like Power Rangers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
A
it's like
little
it, like
bit.
it's just
Yeah.
like it's like it's not like the frame rate. I mean that's all fine, but it's just like the way they're moving is just
Yeah,
like a
it's
little too
like-
fast, and
it's
it's like
like-
just a little too extra, and it's
Yeah.
like it's
Mhm.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It feels like the lowest budget, high budget movie I've ever seen.
That's it.
Yeah, so they get to the village, and then Aang is like, I gotta be inspiring. I'm the Avatar. He says, I'm the Avatar. Or they're like, if you're the Avatar, why don't you, like, whatever, you know,
Prove it.
fucking, he would protect
They
us
said,
or whatever.
The Avatar's an airbender.
Yeah, they
and
said he
that's whenever
proved-
he
he would-
finally start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he starts airbending his little butt off. And the Earthbenders are like, let's freaking go, baby. And they start bending their little butts off. Firebenders run away.
Yeah, speaking of, I love when the 10 Earthbenders I don't know, stomp up and just like
Yeah, they have like a
"Ugh," and then
choreograph.
one dude comes up and shoots a rock.
Yeah, there's one
Yeah.
rock.
It was like West Side Story where they came up all choreographed doing the same thing, but then nothing happened. They didn't earthbend at all. They just stomped towards
just
them
doing
sideways,
moves.
and then
And then a
another
giant
guy, another guy punched the air 1,300 times, and then a single rock flew out, and that was it.
Here's the question I had the whole time. If firebenders for some reason can't firebend without a source of fire, why don't you just put out the torches? Then they can't do anything.
You know what, Spencer?
too
That's
easy.
a good question. Also, you know, future spoilers later on when they're in the Northern Water Tribe. Sorry if you haven't seen this movie or seen the show, you didn't know they made
Sorry
it there.
for looking forward to this.
There's one
It's a
point where
decade
the guy says we got to put out all the torches so the firebenders don't have a source, and there's literally a scene where there's Zuko's in a room with like 20 torches. Like,
Yeah.
whoever's job it was to put out the torches in that room must have just he was like, nah, they won't go in here. But anyways, I don't. Yeah, the firebenders run away, and then they find like the scrolls or whatever. And then we get the really weird close-up shots on the faces of Aang, when he's like, "I never trained to be the Avatar." I don't understand why. Like Katara and Sokka, like they were kind of close, but I guess since it was two of them, like the frame was a little bit like farther back. But Aang's face like
Yeah.
was literally like it was just in his face. Like it like
The whole
you couldn't
time.
see his whole head. You could just see his face. So yeah, then there's like a scene where like Aang is trying to waterbend and he like can't do it. Then Zuko and Iroh.
Because the rare waterbending scroll, coincidentally.
Oh,
falls down
yeah.
in the smash. It's like,
Yeah.
I know what this is. Love it.
Zuko and Iroh are in a town, and then like Zuko's like, or Iroh's like, yeah, we could stay here or whatever, and then Zuko's like, here's what we can, and he like gets some random little boy to like tell him what happened to the prince, and he's like, yeah, the prince was a giant baby, and he got whooped up on by his dad, in the Agni Key.
God.
And
At least
Zuko
they
was like,
showed the scene where like it happens and like how he got his scar. I guess kind of it insinuated it, but you can barely even see his scar to understand
Yeah,
it.
it's not even really a
Yeah.
scar. And then just like the random kid just like telling the story, just he walks over, oh hello. You don't know the story? Let me tell you, with his like combed over hair. Just
Yeah.
little Fire Nation kid. It's just
God.
Like, just give us a flashback. Like, why do you need
Yeah,
the kid
I-
to tell the story?
so we could say Agni Key.
Agni
Probably,
Key.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can keep beating a dead horse all you want, but I just don't understand. Like, I just can't comprehend the decision to just like change up the pronunciation of stuff like that. Like Agni Key and Ong and Soka in Iro. It's not a fucking Greek sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I get
the
a chicken
dragon.
hero.
It's the dragon.
Also, the fact that Iro, or Iro, if you will,
That guy looks
was
wild.
was a much skinnier, non-funny man.
Yeah, he was just like, he wasn't that old either.
Oh, you mean
look
Yinsen
like the
from Iron Man?
Yeah.
Oh
Actually, I'm sorry,
yeah,
Iron Man 3. But he, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll get there to when he is the dragon. But
fucking Dragon of the West.
Then Aang is like, I want to visit the Northern Air
lightning.
Temple. We're close by, and Sokka's like, I don't think so. And then Aang waterbends a little bit, and then Aang in the middle of the night fucking does some Grand Theft Auto and takes Appa on his own, and
I don't
They
think
go
that's
to
Grand
the-
Theft Auto if you take your own ride.
They skipped.
Okay.
I'm
so
sorry.
much
I will.
in this area that it like legitimately upset me.
They skip
Like-
scenes.
They skipped the whole Jet arc, which honestly I didn't care because Jet was an obnoxious character.
Yeah, but he was
Um,
badass with those swords.
True.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that's just I don't get like I don't why I don't understand like just the whole the idea of condensing a season like a what probably like 22 episode season of a show into
Yeah.
a sub 2 hour movie like
Well, here's what I was looking up random facts about this movie, and one that I just read said the first draft of the script included all 20 episodes from the first season, which added up to a runtime of over 7 hours.
dope.
Then they asked M. Night Shyamalan to cut it down, which he begrudgingly
He probably
agreed
saved
to.
some time by shortening some of those pronunciations of names.
And I also feel like they were just trying to push it out while the Avatar still had like momentum going from
Well,
the
yeah, I
show.
mean the show had like just ended like months before the
Yeah.
movie came out. I'm pretty sure.
I really feel like before the finale aired, they were just like, "Hey, you want to make a movie and release it in 2 months?"
Yeah.
Like that's what it feels like.
And then
when
M
they
Night
did
Shyamalan was like, I need 2 days.
it.
I need 2 days and $150 million and the
Night
world's
Shyamalan said
best
this was
green
his best
screen.
movie before it came out.
I'm
I need
sorry.
the first
Um,
day for all the day scenes and then just that night for all
had
the night
he-
scenes.
Had he seen Signs? So, yeah, Ruppin, didn't you say there was something about this part that you didn't like when Aang takes Appa? You said earlier there was like a
Okay, yeah. So during the scene, he goes to the other air temple, and this was the scene where he was supposed to meet that other kid in the wheelchair, thinking he saw other air nomads and everything. Don't laugh at the
Yeah.
wheelchair thing, Evan. He's in a wheelchair. I'm giving descriptions. So he goes up there to meet him, and it's supposed to be like this ruined temple, and he's supposed to have like this real like traumatic experience that everything he ever had before is like basically gone now. And he shows up, and this is the part that Luke was referring to earlier, where you see all the past Avatar statues everywhere. He gets there, and it's a guy pretending to be some like monk,
Yeah.
like
See, yeah,
showing him
at first
everything.
I thought it was the engineer dad that was
Mhm.
like I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah, that's
And then
what I
it's
was
just-
thinking
And
at
she's
first.
just
too.
not a real person. He's just
It's
not
just
an
a
actual...
random, never in the show.
Well, yeah.
But the part that
and then I
bothered
thought he was
me-
the guru, and I was like, that's pretty
Yeah.
early for the guru to show
Yeah.
up.
But the
That's
part
season
that bothered
3.
me the most is he was there to double cross Aang to get him for Prince Zuko. The guy stands behind Aang, pretend my microphone is Aang. He pulls out a knife,
yeah. And he doesn't do anything with the knife.
and then he steps back.
Yeah, I guess he was
just
like
walks away.
he was like
He's
in case Aang tries to do something, I'll like fuck him up. It's like, dude, Aang is the Avatar first of all, and he's an
Yeah.
Airbender, and he'll like
And also, there's literally 100 Fire Nation that swarm
Also-
in immediately after. His knife wasn't going to do dick.
yeah. I don't know
They
like.
stole his knife from him. They run by and like, nah, take it.
I don't
For no
know-
reason.
I don't know how the show does it because I haven't seen it in so long. But like the way that they
I
do
do.
that scene, which okay, so we get I'll fast forward a little bit. Aang goes to the temple, And there's like an old dude there, and he's like, oh, like you haven't been here for so long, and then he takes him down to see all the avatars, and then he double crosses him, and then so it's just so cliche the way he does it. He's like talking, and he's just like, I'm sorry, and then he's like, for what? And he's like, for what I'm about for doing this to you. It's like, it's just like, I don't know. It's like such a cliche, like, oh,
You
I'm gonna
better
double
call an
cross you, like,
ambulance
oh, sorry
for
for doing
you.
it.
But not for me.
And then he gets like a
Yeah.
tiny little coin sack.
Oh, wait a second. Another thing that bothered me, just going back real quick, whenever Haru brought them to that little earthbending prisoner village where his father is being kept.
mhm.
In the show,
Yeah. He's supposed to be on the boat.
you're supposed to be on a boat because they're all earthbenders. So
Yeah.
you keep them away from the earth. This
a
is
metal
just a
boat, yeah.
random camp out in what looks like a fucking
Yeah.
mud
Those
field.
earthbenders could have just like easily destroyed the fire, like put out the
They could've
torches
used
and
whenever
take
they
them out.
wanted.
Like,
Whenever they wanted, but no, they just kind of sat around defeated, and they needed Aang to just say he was the Avatar to give him the courage to do anything.
I'm also kind of bummed that like
Anyways.
Aang's outfit was just like a tan, like he didn't have his yellow and red like
Yeah,
cool monk
his
suit.
McDonald's fit.
Yeah, he didn't have that sweet McDonald's
No.
streetwear.
Nope.
So
Um,
what happened in the show for Aang getting kidnapped was Sokka and Katara got sick, and he had to go get
hmm
toads that were frozen.
Yeah.
And in his process of catching those toads, he gets kidnapped by the archer guys. It was like a whole
Yeah,
archer group.
He gets captured by General Zhao.
So that's pretty much how that happened. There was
hmm
it was silly.
so yeah, so Zhao takes him. I guess like while he's being captured, he like goes to the spirit world, like,
I
and the
think at
dragon
one
is
point he
like,
does.
you gotta go to the Northern Water Tribe or whatever. And then Zhao interrogates Aang, and then a masked little demon guy comes up and I guess and starts
with
infiltrating
really
the-
long hair.
Yeah, he's got some dank locks. So tries infiltrating
I
the
thought it was
base.
kind of cool.
I mean, it looked. I mean, it's very like. I mean, that's how it like looked like in real life. Like that's how those masks like
I
usually
mean,
looked.
yeah, but the hair didn't. If they would have just so like for those of you wondering, we're talking about the blue spirit who came to save Aang at this
Name
point,
hasn't been
and
revealed yet.
Yeah, that's why I'm sticking with blue spirit right now.
Well, yeah,
Um,
the blue spirit name hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah. Oh,
They,
Ah,
they haven't said like blue
He
spirit,
was
but I
also
mean it's.
wearing no blue.
Yeah,
they
was his
say it, like,
mask blue
seconds
at all?
later. His mask is supposed to be
No.
blue. I don't know if it was because
Maybe it had
his
super dark blue.
Because this
his
giant,
hair
his Coheed,
is
his
covering
Coheed Cambria hair.
everything. I can't imagine how that actor felt trying to get through those scenes, not being able to see anything through his hair, just the entire time.
Yeah, so Aang and the masked dude start fighting off the Fire Nation, and Aang's about to like yeet himself out of there, and then he's like, you know what? I gotta help this masked stranger. They start whooping up on the Fire Nation, and then they get and then Zhao is just like, don't kill the Avatar, and the masked guy like, takes him, and then they're like, let him leave, and then they shoot an arrow and it hits him right in the face, and then Aang takes off his mask, and it's like, oh fuck. It's Zuko. What the fuck? Who'd have seen that coming,
Who knew?
Which, like, when I first watched that in the show, I was like, what? Like, Zuko's helping him out? What's going on?
That was really surprising. I definitely expected it to be Jet, just because it was another guy with two swords.
Yeah.
And it was covering his face. I was just like, oh, Jet like changes his ways or something,
Mhm.
maybe.
I am kind of bummed. I mean, like, obviously the movie wasn't good. Like, I wish that it was a good movie and that we would have gotten, like, the second and the third movie. Because, like,
Mhm.
I really would have liked to see, like, the Ba Sing Se arc and, like, the third
Oh,
season in general.
Boomy.
Like,
God,
the
What's
fight
Boomy
with
and
the
all
Ozai,
that, and-
dude.
the Ozai and the Aang fight is, like, so
Yeah.
awesome. And it's just, like,
Literally anything with King Boomy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
the bear.
Oh, they just skipped over
Dude,
King
yeah.
Boomy entirely.
Is he in the
but
first
yeah,
season
isn't-
at all?
No.
Yeah, he's in the first
Wait,
season.
is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
like
is.
they-
Because
they-
he's like
Oh,
Aang's
he is.
friend, right? Or he's like a friend of the Avatar.
Yeah,
Is-
I mean,
wait,
they have to do
is-
the trials, and he's like, "What's my name?" And he's like, and
Yeah.
he figures he's "You're Boomy."
Is
And then Flopsy the rabbit and all that. Yeah,
is Suki in the first season, or is she later
Yes.
on?
she's in the first
Do
season.
they
yeah.
skip
She
Suki
is.
completely?
They
She's
skipped
just
her as
not in it
well.
either. Yeah.
I guess
They
so.
show the
Sokka couldn't have two love
avatar,
interests. You know, he can't have two love interests.
Yeah, he barely got to fuck
He
the
barely
moon in
got
this movie.
one. I mean, that's what was crazy is like it was almost a 2-hour movie, but there was no character development at all.
Oh yeah.
Like
Not even a little
you know,
bit.
Like,
I
I
mean,
did not
Moon
care
Girl, I
about
didn't
Sokka
care
at the
about her.
beginning, and I didn't care about Sokka at the end. Like
Yeah, and
No.
like
in the
Sokka,
moon, like
dude.
I didn't care about her when she
I
was
don't know about-
done.
Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but like Sokka was like giving me some real hardcore like Anakin Skywalker vibes in this movie. Like
Yeah.
just the way he was like he was just moody and like brooding. I was like, is this like is this Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker?
That's
like,
what I thought too.
and he
Yeah,
looked like him
so-
too. Like,
He's in like all the Twilight movies. That's like his other.
oh
Yeah.
my God, you're right.
That's him. Yeah.
He's one of the Cullens, isn't he? Like he's one of
Yeah.
Edward's.
that blonde
Oh
one. who,
my
like,
God, I was
yeah.
like, why do I recognize him?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So like he was
He-
in the show. He was like the big comedic relief for everything.
He was hungry
one thing,
all the time.
And in this movie, zero
He's not
comedic
hungry.
relief.
He's not
from
funny at all.
Him, Iroh.
There's
Aang,
no
like,
comedic
no
relief
one.
at all in any of the.
Like, yeah, no, exactly. And so, like for instance, in the show, like, Sokka's the comedic relief for everyone normally, making cheesy jokes. And this one, I feel like they tried to put in some jokes, but none of them landed. And whatever you did laugh at, it wasn't because they wanted you to. And
Yeah.
then, like, Aang in the show, he doesn't even want all these responsibilities. He's like a goofy, just like 12-year-old kid, like he should be. And in this movie, he's like serious through majority of it as well. Like, I didn't see him like smile except like maybe in the beginning.
Yeah, did Aang smile at all in the whole movie? He was just
I
like,
think
sad the whole
I think
time.
when like Katara first like caught
even
him like putting his clothes on, maybe that was about it.
Even at the end when he's like accepts like the like being the Avatar, he's like scared. He's like,
Yeah. And it also took him the whole movie to accept that, whereas in the show it was a quarter of the season, if that.
It's a good
Ridiculous.
movie.
it's a good movie.
I don't have a lot of nice things to say about
Who the
it.
fuck just said that? Was that you, Luke? Did
No,
you
I,
just say it was a good movie?
I said it was a good
No.
movie.
Oh, fuck you, Evan.
What? It's a great movie. It's
It's
like
terrible.
5% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
I forget what they
Um,
say exactly, but after they escape from the camp and like Zhao goes back to talk to Ozai, who I guess isn't far away in the Fire Nation anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's just, I don't know, a trip away.
No, it's like they got the Game of Thrones season 8 fast travel.
Yeah.
They
But
unlocked it finally.
He's telling him how like he let the Avatar escape, and Ozai says something to him like a threat, or he's like you promise you won't hurt Zuko, and he just goes, yes, immediate
Yeah,
cut.
as
Like,
it's
the
showing
next-
Yeah.
Zuko getting blown up. Like it's like, oh,
Yeah.
is this supposed to be? Are we supposed to not know that he did this? Because like
Yeah.
later on, like Zhao's like, oh, sorry about your nephew. Which like, if he would have said that and we didn't know that he did it, it would have been like, oh, that's nice of him. Like, but like
Yeah.
they literally like show him like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, and they skipped over the pirates entirely too, because they're the ones who originally
they're
put
the
the
ones
bombs
that
in
like
there.
planted the bombs and stuff.
Yeah, Zhao.
And I was
Sorry.
really hoping for that scene where when the ship blows up, like you see Prince Zuko fly out and
Yeah.
like fly out the window and land in the ocean and stuff like that. Just nah, fuck
Yeah,
it.
but that's not-
Cut it.
I mean-
Doesn't matter.
I mean, I get it though, cause like, that's not like realistic. Like it's not like I don't know.
Neither was
But-
airbending.
Airbending, yeah.
Yeah, but I know, but
yeah.
That's funny.
Zhao is like he's pretty sure that Zuko's the blue spirit. Ozai tells Zhao not to harm Zuko, but like as we said, like it literally shows that there's like like the ship explodes as that is being said. Like
Yeah. Also,
Zhao's
as to how he found out that he was the blue spirit after literally that one interaction is pretty impressive.
he saw his lips,
Yeah.
dude. He knows Zuko's lips
Oh,
anywhere.
did he?
Yeah.
he
Oh
never-
yeah,
he
it
never
didn't
saw
show his
his-
eyes.
The
in this
mask
one.
just like shows his lips.
Yeah, in the show it shows his eyes, and this it just shows his lips. Could they not afford a mask with eye holes?
Well, I mean, in the show, he also found the swords, and that's how he found out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was hanging on his walls, and
Yeah,
he
but
says he's
he
not
saw-
good with swords. Those
He
are
saw
like,
Zuko's lips.
They're in
He saw
they're
those sweet lips.
an heirloom or something.
God.
An
Throw
Yeah.
those DSLs anywhere.
So
Yeah, it says they're antiques.
Thou thinks that Aang is going to the Northern Water Tribe. Then I guess then we're just at the Northern Water Tribe. And Aang is accepted to train with a master to learn waterbending. Like, we got to the Water Tribe and there was still like, I think like an hour left in the movie, and I was like, oh my god, like,
Dude.
like this is such a long movie, and it's
I
not
had to
long at
break it
all.
up. I had to break it up.
Yeah,
into
didn't you
2
watch it in
parts.
2 parts? Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first 47 minutes of it the first time, and the last 57 minutes the next day because I needed a break. I couldn't
Yeah.
handle it.
Sokka volunteers to protect the princess, who, like, I guess they're romantically involved. Like, yeah, you know, like, could have fooled me. Like, he's just standing behind her, or there's a voiceover and Katara says, Sokka and the princess like got along like immediately, and it's like, and that's it, and that's all, like,
Yeah.
that's all the
That's all we
it's like,
got.
oh, I guess they're fucking, like,
Not to mention that she was
ridiculous.
already engaged in the show.
Yeah. Which
I
I don't
forgot
think they
about that.
covered that in the movie.
No, they didn't at all.
Absolutely did not.
She's also
Why
like,
would you?
I thought that it was Ariana Grande. Like, she looked like Ariana Grande.
It kind
Like,
of looked like it. Yeah, no. I was wondering where I've seen
I was
that
like, is this
girl. I don't think
victorious
I've seen
Ariana
anything
Grande?
that she's in.
Ozai tells Zhao to get rid of the moon and the ocean spirits. That's where the Northern Water Tribe gets their strength. Aang attends.
Oh, sorry to
Good.
interrupt, but that's another thing. In this show, Zhao says, I discovered like a week and a half ago that if you, like, the moon spirit has like a physical form, whereas in the show he discovered it like whenever he's a teenager. He's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I just found this out, and then I got on a boat and headed over
Yeah, he's like,
here
remember when I robbed that
immediately."
library like 2 days ago? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They skipped over the library. I would have loved that episode.
I think that library's in
The library was in season 2. Yeah. That's when Appa gets stolen.
Fuck, I'm getting called out.
Actually, it might be.
Yeah, that's in
season
they're
3.
in the desert, right? They're in the
They're in the
desert.
desert,
We've
yeah.
only
Yeah.
Two.
That's season
shown
2.
it 3 times the past couple months.
It's before Bossing Say.
Damn, I would have loved. Well, if we would
We'll
have
get
got
it.
a movie,
Yeah, we'll
we
get it
would
with
have
the
got
Netflix
the
series or whatever.
I hope
Is it a movie?
I've got
Is it a
faith.
movie or a series?
No, it's a series. It's a live action series. So,
When is
like,
that coming out? Like, when is
they
that
don't
supposed
they
to
don't they
happen?
haven't said, they
Years?
just they announced
Wait,
that
have
it
they
was
not?
being made in 2018. They announced it was being made, so it's probably still in
Yeah.
production.
Well, they have the full cast out, and so far it doesn't seem whitewashed. Like, that's what I was
Well,
literally
they
looking
said
at right
they
now.
said they were gonna try not to make it whitewashed.
This cast looks way better than. Oh fuck, he's gonna play a good Iroh.
Well,
But,
I mean, they only picked Ong because he was like an actual like little martial artist kid that kind of looks like him, but he's a terrible
Yeah.
actor. You know, I mean, like he could like anytime you saw him bending next to Katara, she looked like just an
Yeah.
idiot
I
because he like
just-
actually knew the moves.
I just don't think it's. I mean, like, obviously, like, the acting in this movie is not great, which is like weird because like there are some actual actors in this movie, so I don't think it's
Well,
like
the
acting
dude
prowess.
from,
I
like,
think it's
Slumdog
just
and Lion is
Yeah,
just
and,
so bad. Like he's so
he's
bad
from
in
Skins,
this.
he's from
Dev Patel,
Slumdog.
Yeah.
I think it was just bad direction. Like, I honestly like.
definitely.
There's no way that like Dev Patel just like didn't. He was just like, you know what? I mean, maybe he was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna phone it in on this one. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he
Um,
got his check. He didn't care.
yeah.
no.
So Aang goes to the waterbending lesson, and then the teacher wants to spar with him, and he's like, he's become better at waterbending. Iroh has accompanied Zhao, and then he's like, sorry about your nephew or whatever. And then immediately Iroh, like, Zuko's just on the ship, and then Iroh's like, I think it was Zhao that tried to kill you. Like, we as the audience already knew that because like they just blatantly told us. Like, we get to like Sokka and the princess are talking, and he's like, my grandma would ask you, why is your hair white? And then she'd be like, because when I was born I was dead, and then my parents prayed to the moon spirit and they put me in the water, and then my hair turned white, and then I woke up.
Yeah, they skimmed through that shit real quick in the movie.
Yeah. Aang and Katara practice bending. I guess that's what they're doing. They're just doing the little thing. And I guess it's them practicing,
Mm-hmm.
and then
I
ash
don't
starts to
think-
fall
yeah.
from the
Katara
sky.
Katara was never really useful.
Yeah, Katara didn't do
And-
didn't do anything in this movie. Like,
I think in this movie, at one point, the waterbender there, whenever he's practicing with Aang, says, "You've been doing good these last few weeks."
yeah,
I think they say.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think that's to get them to like move the to let you know that they've had more practice in the meantime, because their bending was garbage earlier, and in the show they had a lot more time to practice.
Yeah.
And I guess this was their way of just skipping over all that.
well, yeah.
It was just
I just like they could have made this movie a little bit longer. Like, if
Yeah.
if it was 7 hours
We could've
originally
had
and they
a
cut it
7-hour
like
movie, man.
it could have been like it
Could've
could have
had
been
the
3 hours. Like, I mean, they could have made like. I'm not saying that if it was 3 hours it would have been better, but I feel like
they
it
could've
would
pulled
have
an
been.
Endgame.
I feel like it would have been a little bit better if it was like 2.5
Probably.
hours. Like, it would have had more scenes to like develop the characters. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think I cared about any of the characters. Like, if I didn't have the knowledge of the show and like my feelings for the characters from the show, like I wouldn't care about any of the characters in this movie. Like,
I would have turned it off.
so
Yeah,
Zuko
this was
infiltrates the water tribe. He like goes scuba diving and he like does his cool little fire fingers. That was kind of cool.
I'm glad they
Um,
kind of
without
showed
a
that.
source.
Yeah. So him and Iroh both. Well, I guess we'll see Iroh later. Like, him and Iroh can fire without a source, I guess. The princess takes Aang, or Aang's like, I gotta meditate. They're in the spiritual place, and the prince is like, I got you, dog. I'll take you to this place. This is where this place was built around spiritual places.
We
And
got some
it's-
fucking grass over here.
Yeah,
Everything's snow around here. We got grass.
We got a little cave in here with the little fishies in here. We got fucking Zen garden, dude. Zuko shows up to capture Aang, and then him and Katara fight, and Zuko, like, he beats her up. Fire Nation attacks. Sokka finds Katara, and she's like, Zuko took him. And then Aang is in the spirit world, and the dragon's like, how to beat the Fire Nation. And then he's like, you gotta let go of your anger, you gotta use the ocean, show the power of water. That's what it says. Aang wakes up, and Zuko's talking about his sister. He's like, oh, she's always better than me. She's a little prodigy. Nobody likes me. I'm a little emo boy. My parents don't
I'm upset
understand
about
me.
This scene. Yeah, this scene in the show has the greatest line out of the entire show, where he says, "She was born lucky, and I was lucky to be born." That's what his like father told him, and I'm
Mhm.
like, that fucking hit.
Yeah.
That really showed you like how much his father just despised him.
Yeah, this
growing
movie
up and
really,
everything,
like-
and they skipped over a lot of that.
This movie really it really dicked over Zuko, like as a
Mhm.
character, like his character arc. Like, I mean, obviously, like in the first season of the show, like he's not like a good guy yet, but like still, like I feel like we kind of like you kind of see that,
You
which I
feel
guess
for
like the whole blue spirit thing, you see that like becoming like a thing, but like
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Zuko is such a complex character, and like this movie just doesn't like. It's just like,
Show that at all.
whatever.
So,
Like
yeah, they
none of these
just tried
characters
to
matter.
take a whole dump.
I don't know what version of the movie was on Netflix, but according to this, apparently like 30 minutes of footage was cut from the film for the theatrical release.
I want to find those deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Do you? It sounded like you didn't want to watch any of it.
I mean,
didn't?
honestly, I
Your
think
feet.
making the movie a little bit longer would have made it better. Like, I don't think it would have been
Yeah,
perfect, but it
it's
would have been a
based off
better
the-
movie because it would have had more time to like flesh out the characters.
You can't cram one season of TV show into a 2-hour movie and expect it to be anything
So
good.
yeah,
So yeah, Aang wakes up, and then Aang attempts to escape, and then they start fighting. The Fire Warriors and the Earthbenders start fighting. Zhao tells Iroh his plan to kill the Moon Spirit, and Iroh's like, "Shouldn't do that, dog." Like,
Well,
yeah.
So one of the things I found really weird was anytime they were getting the firebenders to attack, they're like, "Firebenders, attack!" And it's just like,
Mhm.
why are you saying it like that?
Yeah.
Just-
They really wanted to
Why?
make it known. Yeah, no one
Weapons
ever just
free,
did
baby.
anything on their own. It was just like they made sure they had to tell them to do that. And another thing about that scene, whenever so I mean, I know we haven't really gotten to the fact that he does go after the physical spirit of the moon, you know, or like we were just kind of touching on that. Also, in that scene in the show, Iroh betrays him in that scene whenever he kills the moon spirit.
Yeah.
And in this, he just kind of like stands on the boat, just doesn't even bother worrying about anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's there when he does it though, and he like betrays him then, right? Like,
Yeah, he's
Does
he's,
he?
he's like, yeah, he's like,
Yeah, he,
you shouldn't do this. But he lets him, and then he's like, all right, that's
Oh
enough. You're not
wait,
gonna
yeah,
do the-
that's the part whenever he starts firebending without
yeah.
a
He's
sword.
Yeah.
fire from his hands. Run.
God.
so Aang and Zuko are fighting. Katara shows up and she freezes Zuko, which is like the only time in the whole movie where she's actually like helpful.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, she didn't really do shit.
Which, like, you know, I love, like, Katara's a great character, but in the movie, she's just not a good character. But in the show, she's, like, a
yeah,
great character.
in the show, she's awesome. Yeah,
Like, she's great from, like, the first, from the first episode, Katara is a great character. Like, she's, like, a strong, like, independent woman character. And in the show, in the movie, she's just, like, she's there. Like, she's just...
she's weak as fuck.
Well, yeah. I mean, because there was just no development for anybody. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't
No.
care about Katara. I didn't care about Ong. I didn't
I
care about
barely,
Sokka.
yeah, I barely care about Ant. Like,
The only person I cared about was Appa.
yeah, blackface
Yeah,
Appa and
Appa.
a shitty blackface.
Hey, at least he wasn't whitewashed.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, he
Good
was
point.
white he was wearing blackface. He was,
Ooh.
Appa's a racist
If
in
anything,
the
he's
movie.
worse than everyone
Yeah,
else. Yeah.
Appa's a racist. So yeah, so then Aang he unfreezes Zuko's head, and he's like, if you stay here, you won't be killed. And then he's like, we could be friends, you know. Foreshadowing for the future movies, maybe. Spoiler alert: there are no movies. Aang joins the fight and tells Sokka, Katara, and the princess, which I don't think they've said her name yet. Like, I know her name's
I don't think
Yue,
they've
but I don't think they've
yeah.
actually said. I don't think they say it until Sokka's like, Yue, don't do this. Like, we literally don't know her name. Like, she's just the princess. But they go to follow Zhao. Zhao kills the moon spirit, and Iroh is like pleading with him not to do it. But he doesn't listen, and then Zhao like stabs the spirit, and then the princess falls, and then Aang like kind of like he does like the Harry Potter, like holds his head and like gets hurt. The moon turns red, and then Iroh's, you know, he's like, you know what? I'm pulling out all the stops, and he goes fucking Super Saiyan 3 on their asses and starts firebending without a source. And they're
Just
like,
like
whoa.
literally every other firebender
Yeah.
in the show, but whatever.
And then they run off. And the Fire Nation, due to the red moon, starts whooping up on the Water Tribe. We cut back to the little sacred place. The princess is awake. Iroh's like, you can give your life to save the spirit. And then Sokka's like, don't do it. He's Fire Nation. It's obviously a trap. And then Sokka's like, just asking her not to do it. And she does it anyways. And she like goes into the water, and like her soul leaves her body, and then her hair turns back to dark. So, you know, we gotta, you know, just show that her soul's left her body.
That she gave it up. Yeah.
The moon turns back to normal. Water Tribe starts whooping up on the Fire Nation again. Zuko
Yeah,
and
I
Zhao are
like
on a
how they
bridge.
weren't-
Sorry.
So I like how there wasn't really a lot of bending. It was just more they're just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah. No, it's really just a lot of fighting, and bending plays a super minuscule part of this whole like movie, basically.
Like that whole
Yeah.
sequence, like okay, there was some fire bending, there was a little bit of water bending, and like during the whole parts where like the moon's out, they're just punching and sword fighting.
Yeah.
And, like, what the hell?
Yeah. That was like the point where they could have. I feel like they ran out of budget, maybe, or something. Because, like, I know
They used it
CGI
all
for
on
stuff like
Aquaman.
that. Yeah. CGI for stuff like that is super expensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, water
But
water is like kind of hard to like replicate. Like, or it's
yeah.
like, so like I can understand that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you know.
Especially back then. And, like, I mean, it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I
Think
know,
about
I
that.
know. But you saying back then, it's like
Yeah,
we're not
man,
watching
that
Wizard of
transformation.
Oz.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and then what was it? In the next scene, after she like gives her life for the moon spirit, it shows Zhao fighting Prince Zuko, where he finds out that Zuko is still alive on that bridge.
Yeah, they're on the bridge.
And at this point, Aang should be in this giant like fish water
Yes.
bubble
Oh
suit.
god, I was so sad that never happened. The awesome the
Same.
ocean spirit. It looked like something
Mhm.
from like Princess Mononoke or Spirited
And
Away. It just didn't
instead,
happen.
he just stood there with like a giant tsunami wave over
I mean, the wave was
the
kind of
Fire
cool.
Nation ship.
Yeah,
It
no,
was.
it
Don't
was
get me
cool.
wrong.
I mean,
That
he
was
learned how to
cool.
waterbend like
Yeah.
3 days ago, and then he made it.
No, it's
title
weeks. It's been weeks, Luke. It's
with
been
no
weeks.
moon.
Oh
Weeks.
yeah, no, it's been weeks, but
No, the
for
moon's
us, it's been,
there.
like 30
The moon's
minutes.
there,
yeah,
Luke.
yeah, moon's-
It's
moon's
not
Yeah,
like
by
it's
this
not
point,
like
the
Dragon Ball
moon's
Z.
back.
Piccolo didn't blow up the moon, dog. The moon's there, bro.
But what bothered me more about these next scenes is that, well, for one, he wasn't in like his awesome giant like water suit, whatever you want to call it, and then whenever it comes to the fight with General Zhao, Iroh steps up and like comes to get Zuko and stops him from getting like killed by Zhao. They both just walk up. You nailed it, Mike. You were there. Iroh just stands there. The fire just goes
Iroh,
every which way, and Iroh.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he just
Four
like he
waterbenders
like
roll
makes his little fire wings, and all the guys they're like, "Oh, he's making fire out of nothing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, like all of you should be able to."
Yeah,
you,
and
you
then
dumb fucks. Like it's just so stupid.
Yeah, I don't
four
understand why they
waterbenders,
tried to do that.
Oh,
and instead of like in the show how like the spirit like comes up and takes General Zhao, like whenever he's on
he
the
just
bridge,
gets
like
drowned by
fighting.
some random
They
dude?
straight up murder him. They
Yes,
murdered
in
him.
the show, they picked him up and took him to the fucking bottom of the
Like-
ocean. And this, they put him in a water bubble and then dropped him on a
He just
bridge.
Dude,
drowned. He
it
just
was
drowned
kinda
by, like,
brutal,
a
though. I'm
cliff
not gonna
full of
lie.
random dudes.
Like it was
So wait,
kind of brutal.
Did he
Like
really die?
yeah, they drowned. He was
In the
in the
movie?
water.
He drowned.
Rock band. They drowned him. Like
He kind of looks
he
like he
was.
passed out.
Yeah, he
No.
passed out after he was in the water for 5 minutes. They filled
yeah,
his
he
lungs
ain't
with
breathing.
water, dude. Like
Oh,
and he
man,
dropped
no,
to the bridge,
yeah,
and he
no,
was
I see him-
lifeless.
I see him like grabbing and everything.
Are you watching
yeah,
the
no,
movie
he
right now,
died.
Rock Band?
Yeah, it's on my side screen right now. Yeah, he's dead. He ain't breathing nothing.
Yeah, he's dead
Nope,
as
never mind.
he's
Yeah,
dead as
he's
doornails,
kinda-
baby.
Oh, his eyes are open.
Yeah, he's dead, dude.
Oh,
I was like
okay.
uncomfortable watching that. I was like, oh, they murdered him. Like
This
he's
is a
dead,
PG
dead.
movie, by the way. PG movie.
Yeah.
Things were
Um.
different
That's
back
true.
then.
So yeah, they did the whole bridge thing. They're dead. Like
Wow.
they straight up just murder him. And then I thought that the little like montage, like long shot of Aang fighting with the slow motion, I thought it looked kind of cool of like Aang like
Yeah,
going
I
through
liked
and like
it.
he like kind of like limbo underneath
It
like a
was-
sword and like he was like running
Yeah.
around doing all that stuff. I thought that looked cool. Okay, this is supposed to say Aang has a flashback, but I was just typing and I didn't give a shit like how the spelling was. It says Aang has fishbacks and sees himself run away from the Avatar ceremony.
Some nice foreworks for Chinese New Year.
So he starts to make a big tidal wave, which is kind of cool.
Mhm.
And
He
then
doesn't use it.
yeah, he just scares them
No.
off. They're just. I mean, you know, if you
Yeah.
see a big wave, you're gonna fucking start going away. Like,
Whereas in the movie, he
like,
did take
he
out
could've-
like, multiple ships.
he could have easily
in the
just
show,
like
he
destroyed the
fucked
Fire
it up.
Nation's fleet there. Like, he could have taken them all
Easily.
out. Like, this
Easily.
war is
Could've
over.
ended.
The
Yeah.
war is over.
No.
Like, that's at least like I mean, that's gotta be a big chunk of their fleet. Like,
Yeah, definitely. And then the rest of them were in the middle of the water village and everything. Obviously, gonna get their asses handed to them because the moon is fucking bright out right
Yeah.
now.
full moon, baby.
And Katara might learn to like splash a puddle or some shit with her water bending
Um,
at some point. So
So yeah, so the Fire Nation retreats, the Water Tribe and some of the Fire Nation, like they're like, you know what? I know we were just beating your ass, but we're cool now. Like we'll bow down with you. Like, is that like that's right? Like there was some Fire Nation people there, right? Like at the end when they were all bowing
I know
down.
some of them got
Yeah.
trapped in the wall.
So they
Yeah,
were just
because
like,
when Aang-
they were like, I know we were fighting 5 seconds ago, but that's the Avatar, so like we're cool
Yeah.
now.
it was a one way in, one way out sort of deal. And whenever he made the tidal wave, they're all trying to run out, and then it's like,
Yeah, and then they were
okay,
like,
I guess
fuck it,
this
we're
is
good
it.
guys now.
Also, I just want to point out in this scene, again, I have it on the side screen here. When he's in the Avatar state, his eyes are just
Are
supposed to be
closed.
but
His eyes are
his
closed.
are they?
But his
really?
eyes are glowing. Like his
It's
eyes
just
are
like his
closed.
eyelashes.
There's just like a
His
little
eyelashes
sliver of his
glow.
eyes are glowing, and
Oh.
it like
Yeah.
But
it looked gross. Like I'm not
I
gonna
just
lie,
paused it, and his nose is glowing too. It looks like
dude. Every orifice, baby.
someone on the beach who just put sunblock on their nose, but it's just blue. And
His
it looks
insides are
horrendous.
glowing, so it's just coming out of wherever it can come.
It's like when you put a flashlight on the other side of your hand, and you just see the glowing through your fingertips.
Or put it in your mouth and it
Oh,
comes out your nose.
Yeah, I don't know if we already talked about it, but
What?
also whenever Zuko captures Aang when he's in the when he's in the,
Yeah, say it
the
right,
Avatar
please.
state,
Go. Go.
he's like he's supposed to be in a cave in the show, but in this he's just like upstairs in a house, just
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They were like supposed to be out in a blizzard in a cave, dying.
They probably didn't want to do Appa too much.
Yeah, I'm sure Appa took up a lot of the budget.
Yeah, a lot of people quit after seeing his blackface.
So Katara's like, they want you to be their avatar, and we all do, and he accepts it, but he's like, he accepts it, but he's not happy about it. He's like, oh, I'll do it, I guess.
He finally bows, which none of that was.
He didn't
in
even
the
bow.
show.
He didn't even bow. He was just like,
No, like at the
Oh,
end,
yeah.
he did his thing where he was like,
oh, did he? I just thought he was just like,
no, yeah, he.
No, I
'cause
didn't-
the
I-
whole thing was
I must
in
have
the
looked away.
past when he first got it. He
didn't bow. Yeah,
he was
yeah.
ashamed. He ran
Yeah,
away.
there's your character
Which-
growth.
that didn't happen in the show. And in this, he
Yeah.
like bowed for them.
the
Like,
only
he,
character growth in the whole movie.
Finally happened.
And then we cut
Not
back
accepting
to the
two
Fire
reverse
Nation,
grades.
which also like the Fire Nation was like in the middle of the savannah. Like, did you guys notice that? Like when it showed like the Fire Nation like
Yeah.
castle, it was like it was just like it's like, oh, there's Lion King happening on like right over there. Like,
Yeah, and it was like a mediocre like castle, whereas in the show it's like this huge fortress.
yeah.
And
Then it shows Ozai and he's like talking about Sozin's comment. It's like, oh, it'll make us powerful. And he's like, who's he talking to? It's like, oh, it's his daughter who they've mentioned one time before.
Oh my god, dude, her face at the end when she like, you could tell it was one take, and
Yeah.
they're like, all right, we want you to look crazy, and so she's already just kind of looking, and then she's like,
Yeah.
and she makes like 9 different facial expressions. Or I
Oh
can
my-
pull it up.
I
Somebody pull it
already
up.
got it up, Luke. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Aang's face right now in the final scene. I'm gonna show you exactly
like-
what he does.
Yeah, that's the bow.
Yeah, he looks. He's like, oh yeah, that was a bow when he.
My
he-
man
oh
literally
yeah, I
looks-
forgot that was a bow when he bent his knees.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
literally looks like he's taking.
He looks like he's.
a shit
Yeah, he looks like he's
right
pooping his
now.
pants. He looks like
he's very uncomfortable.
he looks like he's pooping his pants.
I'm the Avatar.
I want to replace the scene where Aang runs away from being the Avatar, and I want just to dub over it with Jon Snow saying, "I don't want it."
Oh, but yeah.
But yeah, and that's the end of the
then
movie.
Azula
That's it.
shows
We
up and
finally made it through this.
Yeah, we got the setup for the sequel.
Azula looks like she's like a killer in like. God, like Old Boy. Is that
Yeah.
what I'm thinking of? Something like that. She just.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm
That was,
sorry. I'm getting really distracted over here. I should. Yeah,
That
she
was-
just goes like this at the end. And like just gradually smiles.
That was the last Airbender.
Oh my god. Okay, so
We did it, boys. We made it through. We all watched it.
Uh,
I'm sorry. I think before that, like, I knew it was gonna be a bad movie, but I think deep inside, I was like, there's no way it's that bad. Like, I'm just misremembering
Yeah.
it. Like, I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. Like, I'm sure it's not as good as the show, but like, it can't be that bad. I was wrong. This was a waste. Like, I honestly wish I could get that hour and
Waste
45 minutes back. Like,
of life.
like, it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made us watch this. Like,
I'm
I'm
I-
excited to watch Dragon Ball Evolution now.
is that available on streaming anywhere?
I
Like,
don't think so.
Ah,
I think
They
I
wanna
downloaded
bury
it.
that movie.
Pretty sure I torrented that or
I've
something.
never
yeah.
watched that
of
whole
course
movie.
he did.
That's
But
yeah.
what's even worse is that going into this, I kept telling myself, "There's no way it can be as bad as
Yeah.
I think it is," and
It was
it
worse.
surpassed.
I mean,
Yeah.
so that's
Easily.
because I was like, like whenever I watched it in high school, I was like, I probably just think this movie sucks because I watched the show and the show's better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I came into this, I was like, I'm rewatching it. I just watched the show, but I'm like, hey, let's watch the movie. And I mean, I'm sure that if you hadn't watched the show, you could watch this movie and be like, oh, that's a pretty cool movie. And then the show's
I
better.
don't think so.
But no, it's a bad movie.
It's a bad
There's nothing
movie.
good about
That's
this
what I was
movie.
thinking.
It
Like,
doesn't matter if you've ever seen the show or
Like,
not.
I
It's
was-
a bad
I kind of wish that that Laura would have watched it so I could have gotten her perspective as someone who's never seen the show. But like,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
also
was
just a
gonna say.
bad movie. Like, it's not like it's poorly
There's- it's
paced. It's poorly like
good.
the CG. Like, some of the CG is bad. Like,
It's just bad.
the green screen is
acting's
bad.
Everything.
Like, it's just the characters aren't good. Like, there's no like
no.
Sokka, like, in the whole movie, like, there's no like, I don't like him. I don't care about him. Like, he doesn't do a single good thing in the whole movie. Like, he's selfish.
No, he-
Like, he's like, oh, like, you could save the water tribe. Don't do it. I love you. Like, I don't want you to go. Like, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't. Like,
that was his like one of 3 lines throughout the whole movie. The other
Yeah.
one being Katara after she accidentally froze him, and then the beginning whenever he got
When he's
wet
talking and he's
crushed by
like,
blackface.
oh, I
Appa.
did everything Dad told me.
Kidding me.
It just
I followed their footsteps or whatever. Yeah, like,
yeah.
it's just not it wasn't a good movie. I'm really glad that I didn't
No.
make Laura watch this because it just.
So Mary refused to watch it with me. She literally sat in the other room, just like playing on her phone because she refused to watch it. And whenever I made it through like the first 47 minutes, because again, I had to break it up into 2 parts, she's like, I told you it was going to be bad. I was like, I
Yeah.
have to do it. It's
Let's see.
homework.
This has a half of a star on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's more than what I would have given it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do y'all want to hear some facts from this website I've got pulled up?
Not really, but
Or-
I guess.
Let's dig in.
hmm
So, according to M. Night, the way they say the names, like Ong and Soka and everything,
Cultural.
Yeah.
was because he wanted to honor the source material and use the Asian pronunciation.
Oh, fuck off.
The source material literally says their names differently.
Yeah.
Apparently, he means like the way they'd say it from I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he
You
was
can-
trying to make it more like culturally accurate, but
Even
at
though
the
the
same
people were
time,
white.
just don't.
Oh my
Don't.
god!
Just don't do
What?
that.
I'm reading trivia on IMDb. The first thing
Oh,
is,
yeah, I did.
in the original show, Sokka's a funny comic relief character. However, arguably no comedy comes from the Sokka in this movie. Significant criticism was aimed at this.
And his long fucking ponytail.
Dev
Gosh.
Patel
Cut off half
expressed
of that and giving it to Zuko.
Dev Patel expressed
Yeah.
dissatisfaction with the final film.
Luke, they only had enough budget for one ponytail in this movie, and they just gave it all to Soka.
We could have had a whole different movie though, because Zac Efron was originally was auditioning for Sokka, and Jesse
No.
McCartney was trying to be Zuko, but both of them had scheduling conflicts.
What?
So we could have had that.
Disney Channel presents
Wait,
The Last
wait.
Airbender?
We could have had 2 much more whitewashed actors
Yeah.
in this movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
You know, if Zac Efron and Jesse McCartney would have been in this movie, there would have been some bomb-ass songs. Oh my
Jesse
god.
McCartney is literally the whitest man on
What's that
this
song?
planet.
What's his song that he has? What's that song that he had?
Beautiful Soul.
You and your beautiful soul.
Beautiful.
I don't want
Yeah.
another bridge. Oh my god, he would have sang
Everybody
that
taking
to.
it down top.
He would have sang that to the princess. Oh my god. Oh, it would have been
I
I think he would have
perfect.
tried to include a single in this movie.
Of course. Are you kidding
Oh
me,
my
dude?
God.
They would have had like a dance scene after the credits with the Earthbenders stomping everywhere, and
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think if they both would agreed, there would have been a musical number?
Hang on.
Yeah, like the classic like Bollywood post-credits
Hang on.
song.
In Britain, Bender is a slang term for male homosexual, so lines in this movie such as "Look out, he's a bender" resulted in plenty of giggling in UK movie theaters, making it difficult for audiences to take the film seriously.
God, he's a bender.
I really thought you were about to say they changed the name of it.
Oh
or
yeah,
something
so
like that
it's
over
like
there. I was
really poorly
hoping for
dubbed.
that.
Look out, he's
God.
a person who can move stone.
I would love if over there if they would have changed it, like if they would have dubbed over it with other words.
Oh my god.
So like what was it? Similar to what was that movie? The Big Lebowski. In one of the scenes, the guy says like, "This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass," or something like that. In the movie, when they dub over that to make it clean cut, they say, "This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps."
Nice.
And like, there's another scene where he like says, "This is what happens when you make an orphan scrambled eggs."
I get all the Dragon Ball Z abridged things that they did at one point.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
Makes so
god.
much sense.
Nickelodeon
Rock Band.
did
That's
not
what I'm
give
here
the
for.
film any nominations at the 2011 Kids' Choice Awards, despite the fact that Airbender was a Nickelodeon Movies motion picture.
They didn't like it.
The most expensive movie ever
Nickelodeon.
produced by Nickelodeon Movies with a budget of $150 million and an additional $130 million in advertising. So they
So many
barely
fucking varieties.
made back the money from the box office, like counting the budget and the advertising.
God.
Apparently, y'all were saying that they didn't introduce Suki. Apparently, there was a scene that had the Kyoshi Warriors and Suki that was filmed, but M. Night,
Just cut it.
because he thought it was a separate story, would only distract plot line.
What plot line?
Except that like if they that's so dumb though, because like if they would have made the other two movies, Suki comes back.
Yeah,
so like we
she
wouldn't have
becomes a
known.
very integral part.
No
of
one
the
would have
third
known who
season.
she was. Like they would have been like, "Who the hell is Suki? What's a Suki?" Oh, they would have called her Suki.
They
You
would've
know
been
for a
like,
fact they would have called her
Yeah.
Come
Suki.
here, Soka. Let me give you that sucky.
Soka and
I'm
Suki.
sorry.
Okay, I'm currently watching the deleted scene.
So good and sucky.
What's in the lead scene?
So it's just
Oh
after
my god,
Is
this
that
is
her?
so depressing.
it's just after Katara puts up like the little poster of Aang
Mhm.
after he's returned and stuff like that in that Earth
Yeah.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
And like Suki just like casually like walks by like kind of hidden, but you can see like the green headband on her head. Aang's saying some useless up close shit right now. That was it? That was it?
She just walks by.
That was it. She walks by. That was the only
Uh,
thing. And then Sokka and his long hair are like hopping on Blackface Appa and they leave.
On the set of his previous movie, Slumdog Millionaire, whenever Dev Patel had some free time on the set, he would watch an episode of the cartoon series, prepare for his role as Zuko. That's so sad. Like he
You
was
think
like,
he goes back
he was
and
getting,
watches.
dude, he wanted to do such a good job. I feel bad for him.
But wait, he was preparing for it while on set. He didn't prepare for it
On
beforehand.
Slumdog.
No, on set of Slumdog. He like while he was
Oh,
filming
sorry,
Slumdog,
sorry.
he watched Avatar.
Well, then that is really sad. Yeah. Fuck.
D. Bradley
Yeah.
Baker, who voiced Appa and Momo in the Avatar: The Last Airbender TV show, voices them again for the film. Cool. They didn't barely make any
They had-
sounds.
What? Like a line each?
They don't talk. Rock Band.
Yep.
I mean, touche. Yeah. Then how do they have lines?
Although the
Spencer?
characters of Sokka and Katara are meant to be only a few years apart, Sokka is 16 and Katara is 14 in the animated series, Jackson Rathbone is 11 years older than Nicola Peltz. That's crazy.
I
he
don't know
looks
why
like-
that seems
Yeah.
weird to me. Oh my! I like how we're all just like looking up facts about this right now.
I just need to know more about this movie.
Yeah,
Like, I just want to
'cause
know what went
I
wrong.
want.
Evan,
I
you
really-
need to watch the show again.
Oh, I'm going to watch the show again.
Yeah, no, definitely. Same with you, Spencer. Yeah, like
I need to watch more Korra.
So M. Night Shyamalan had watched the show, apparently.
Luke, send me a
Because
link to
his
Korra. I
daughter
can't
wanted
find
to
it.
dress as Katara for
on
Halloween.
Project Free TV.
Did you just say your
This
torrent
podcast
website
does
over
not
the air?
condone
No, it's just a
illegally
website you don't
watching.
download it, you should.
I do not condone illegally watching things. We do not condone that, but if you do it, you know, it's
Project
fine.
Free TV.
So okay, so
Great movie.
next week we're gonna be doing Spirited Away. It's gonna be a much better experience. You know, great
Yeah,
movie.
Do y'all know where we can find that?
It's on HBO Max. I know that. You can probably rent it on Amazon. Probably.
Could probably rent it on Xbox too.
Oh, by
Yeah.
the way, tomorrow get a free Chalupa Cravings box at Taco Bell.
Excuse me.
With an account on the app. Also, guess what else is cool? The Chalupa Cravings box, even on
Not sponsored.
TacoBell.com, it is the $5 Chalupa Cravings box. Guess how much the Chalupa Cravings box
$5.99.
costs in Augusta, Georgia?
$5.99, baby.
$6.
Probably because it's a different type of Taco Bell.
They got
I
that,
know at McDonald's, you can have it like as a franchise. I'm not going to talk about fast food restaurants right now.
We're not sponsored by fast food.
Also, Luke, this project Free TV is definitely giving my computer viruses right now. What the fuck did you just make me go on to?
Have you really never heard of Project Free TV?
I haven't, and I got 3 tabs open.
Oh yeah, I forgot you didn't get the internet
and then
until
you close
like,
them, and then you watch your show.
yeah, you just close them, right, man? It's fine.
Rockman,
Simple.
do you really not know how this
Congratulations, you
works?
just won a free iPod Nano.
Congratulations, you won a free iPod
You want a
Nano.
free iPod Nano.
Yo, this guy's never
Make you
read
buy
Books,
can
right?
save you money.
I don't know.
You guys,
that.
I stopped like doing shit like this whenever Comcast sent us
He stopped
emails.
stealing from the
Just
forum.
download a VPN, dude. You'll be fine. Anyways,
Probably downloading stuff. You're not downloading stuff on this website.
so yeah, so next week we'll be doing Spirited Away. Michael, you've never seen it, which is astounding to me.
Yeah, I know,
I
right?
think you'll like it a lot. I mean, it's a great movie.
Studio Ghibli movies are like, I mean, obviously, like, I mean, they're top tier anime movies, but like, you don't have to be into anime to like, they're basically like Disney movies, like not like to insult them, but they're like the Disney movies of anime movies. Like they're just good, like, and they have a good message, like.
Yeah. So fun fact, just in case I'm not able to make it for next week, the one and only time I've seen Spirited Away was in theaters when it first came out, with my mom, and we were 2 of 4 people in the theater on I think a Tuesday afternoon. And those 2 people left halfway through the movie, so it was just me and my mom watching Spirited Away.
Do you remember the movie Robots with Robin Williams?
Yes.
I went and saw that in theaters, and me, my sister, and my aunt were the only people in that theater watching that movie.
There should have been more people there for that. That's a great movie.
Fun fact, the actress that played Princess Yue in the movie later provided the voice for Asami Sato in the animated series Legend of Korra.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if I said her name right, but...
It doesn't matter.
Are we watching the Dragon Ball Evolution movie after this one?
I mean, we'll get there eventually. I'm gonna need more time to get away from Avatar before I watch another bad movie. Like
Can I throw a movie like possibility for after Spirited Away? Do like the Lord of the Rings?
I mean, I would love to do Lord of the Rings. I would
like maybe not all 3 on the same week, but like
God, no. I would definitely need
also,
to rewatch them.
Would you guys want to do the extended edition or the regular editions? Because I own the extended editions.
I feel like more.
But you can't
people have
stream
seen
the
it
extended
regular
editions.
Get your heads on, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the regular editions are all on HBO Max. So like, if you guys did like a month subscription or whatever, be able to watch them, or a month like trial. But I could also probably
it's not a month trial, it's a 7-day trial.
Oh, I could maybe
7-day, yeah.
let you guys use mine. Maybe I have to talk to Laurel.
Whichever ones they put on Netflix for a while.
Those are the regular. Those are the regular ones.
Oh yeah, but was it they didn't put all 3 of them on there. They only put
Were they
like,
not? It was 1
No.
and it was at least 1. It might have been 1 and 3.
I think it was either no, because 2 Towers was on there.
And then it was 1
It was
and
either
2.
1 and 2 or 2 and 3. I think it was
Because
1
I
and
know
2.
that Fellowship of the Ring was on there.
I just know that Mary watched Lord of the Rings 1 and 2 without me, as well as all 3 Matrix movies in the same week. And I don't know how she did it to this day.
Have you guys seen all the Hobbit movies?
I've not seen a single one.
I've only seen the first one.
I haven't seen any
I
of
saw
them
the
either.
first one. I saw the second one. I think. Was
Talk
that
about
the one that had like the made up white orc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about taking one season of a show and turning it into a 2-hour movie. What about taking a book that you can read in an hour and turning it into
Not even a long
3
book. Like the
like
Hobbit's not that long
yeah.
compared to Lord of the Rings.
Like,
I mean, it's
and
just
they
like
turn it
pretty
into
short book.
3 like
9
2.5 hour movies. Like, it's crazy.
That's wild, dude.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do Lord of the Rings. I've been wanting to rewatch them like
Yeah.
recently.
I'm definitely down for
And
that.
I
mean,
downloaded the
me
Lego
and
Lord of the
Cam
Rings game so I can
will
play
rewatch
along.
those for sure.
Actually, I'll just play. Here's what we'll do. I'll play the Lego Lord of the Rings, and you guys can watch me play it, and then you do use that as our movie.
Yeah, we'll just have like all the commentary while you sit there and play.
So yeah, so next week we're doing Spirited Away, and then after that, maybe Lord of the Rings. We'll see. That could be a good 3-week like thing to get us far enough away from Avatar to do another bad movie.
Throw back in.
Can we? Yeah, I was about to say we need some more like top tier movies
But
just to get me away.
I
from
do
that
know in. Hang on, I have a list somewhere. Where is it? Where is
I
it?
watched Knives Out recently. That was
That's a
fantastic.
great movie, dude.
Around August
Loved it.
13th, whatever the week of like whatever the closest like day that we record to August 13th, we're gonna watch Scott Pilgrim because that's the 10-year anniversary of that movie.
Oh
Good
my
one.
God.
Wow, Scott Pilgrim and this movie came out in the same year. Talk about one really bad adaptation
than
and
the other.
one good adaptation.
Mm-hmm. If only
Decent.
Scott Pilgrim was a good movie, could have lived up to
Are
The
you-
Last Airbender.
Oh, you're
See what I
the
did there?
old rock band Shark
Dude, I watched Scott Pilgrim like a few months ago. It's so good. It still holds up.
Same. Yeah,
It's so
I
good.
watched it not too long ago. And I forgot how good it was because I'd only seen it one time, like in theaters. That was it.
I've only seen the movie one time and I got distracted watching it.
It's
Well,
great.
that's
It was a Zombieland similar situation.
I hate
Rock band getting some neck.
Were you getting the throat goat?
Rock band getting neck.
God.
Hang on,
I
Rock
didn't
Band.
say
Hang
that.
on, Rock Band. Is
I
this?
didn't say
Hang
that.
on. Was this you? Was this you?
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
While you were watching?
I'm about to bust.
Okay. I think we've gone on long
I think you did a
enough.
good job.
So so join us next week as we watch Spirited Away. I'm excited to hear Michael's thoughts. I'm excited to watch it again because I haven't seen the movie in years.
Yeah, I was about to say I haven't seen it since the theater, so
I mean, I probably saw it on Toonami at one time. I don't know, like, you know, it used to come on Toonami like all the time, I think. But
if we start doing series like shows and stuff like that, can we do Code Lyoko at some point?
I'm not watching Code.
We would have
I
to watch the
love
whole
Code
series.
Lyoko.
Though.
Why would you not watch Code Lyoko?
I don't want to watch that
Dude,
weird
I've seen that
weeb
a long
shit.
time ago.
It's
They almost
Canadian.
die every episode.
That show was amazing.
If we watch Code Lyoko, we're watching the one that has live action because I'm gonna make you guys suffer.
I hate you.
I'm not gonna fucking do
Did
that.
that happen?
Fuck you.
Yeah, they rebooted
Yes.
it and it had like all of the like animated scenes were like, what was it? The anime scenes were live action or the CGI scenes were live
when they
action?
go into when they go into Lyoko, it was the 3D animation, and everything else was the live action.
Why
Which
did
like
they
it
do
sound like it makes sense,
I don't
but
know.
it's weird.
Canadians are weird.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a Canadian television show.
So yeah, we're watching Spirited Away next week, and until then,
I like it.
what's a good send off for Avatar? Until then, keep on bending, baby.
Yep, yep.
Keep